This morning I'm going to make a Neapolitan cake. Not many people make this kind of cake, but it's so tasty. Basically, it's layers of dough, baked, and then it's covered with chocolate pudding mix and set for 3 days. So I'm about to start. I'm going to start with my egg in the food processor, and I'm going to mix that up. Now I'm going to add the sugar in thirds. I'll pour 1/3 more through the feed tube. And the final third. I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Good, that's all scraped down. Now we'll mix it again. Next, I'm going to add the melted butter. That's 1 cup. I'll let that mix in very well. And now I will do the flour, and it's 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. Again, I'll scrape down the sides of the bowl. So that's 1 cup. Two cups. And 1/4. Now we'll mix that. And again, I'll scrape down the bowl. And do a final mix on it. As you can see, I have 4 equal-sized pieces of dough to make my discs. I've already pre-cut 4 parchment papers, which are going to line my pan. The first thing I'm going to do is put a piece of the dough onto the parchment paper in the center, and I'm going to roll it out. Then I will place that inside the pan. This way I have more control about what I'm doing. And these are thin discs that I'm making. I'll lift this piece of wax paper that I used for rolling. I've gone over this side a bit, so I'll just bring it back in. Fill everything in like this. And then place it in the pan. Now that it's in the pan, I'm going to even it out and make sure there's no spaces at the edge. Perfect. Now that's ready to bake. I'll be making 3 more of these. I'm now working on the filling for the Neapolitan cake. I'm using Jell-O, the cooked kind, not the instant kind, because the instant won't work properly, nor do I like the taste of it. So I've got 2 packages of the Jell-O, and I'm going to, it's over the double boiler. My water's already been heated, so I'm going to start pouring in the milk slowly and whisk it. I've poured the rest of the milk in. It's over the double boiler. It will take a while to thicken, so I'll continuously stir so that it doesn't clump or get stuck on the bottom of the pot. I'm letting the chocolate pudding cool now. What I'm going to do is put a piece of saran right down on the chocolate pudding, right against the sides of the pot. That way a skin does not form. And the saran releases very easily, not taking any of the food with it. So there you've got it covered, and I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it get cold. So this is what the baked discs look like. And I've used the edger here to loosen it. I often don't like it so much because it does rip some of the sides. So at times I'll just loosen it with a little knife and take it out. Now I'm going to turn it over in my hand, and there we have the disc. I'm taking off the parchment paper. So I have 4 discs ready to go. The chocolate pudding is ready to go. I'm letting it cool, and then we'll assemble. The chocolate pudding is all cooled down now. I'm going to remove the saran top. And as you can see, it's pretty clean. I've got all of my discs ready. I've got the bottom one and the 3 remaining discs. And I'm going to try and scoop out the pudding to make everything equal. I'm going to use an offset spatula to spread it. And it doesn't matter if you overlap on the sides, because we have to cover the sides once everything's assembled. I'm going to add a little bit more. So there you have the first disc. Want to make sure it's evenly spread. I'll now put on this one. I want to leave for the top. So I'm going to put this on top of the first layer and do exactly the same thing. And I'll repeat that. Seems like I probably only need about 4 scoops for this. And I'm holding it steady so that it doesn't shift all over the place. I'm going to add 1 more scoop. I just want to make sure that I've got enough in between to have all that deliciousness throughout the cake. Now I'm going to put on the third disc. And spread again, holding again. Okay, now I'll add 1 more scoop. Finish that off. And now I will top it with the last and final disc. Have to keep on repositioning so it doesn't move all over the place. Now I'll take the offset spatula and start doing the sides. I'm not going to worry about the mess on the base of the cake plate. I can get to that later. Isn't that looking fabulous? And as I said, this is going to have to sit for 3 days. The discs are very crisp And the idea of making it days in advance is that the moisture from the pudding will seep into the discs and the cake will be lovely and moist throughout, not just with the pudding. I'm going to use my flat edge scraper to even up the sides now. And I'm going to let this cool and put another coat on.